Hello everybody, so we are back with another video and it's going to be on the Datsun because, well, it's a Thursday and I haven't filmed you a video for tomorrow, so there's a few things I need to do to this. I've been doing a few bits off camera because there wasn't really too filmable just because of the place they were in and stuff we've already done before, so I'll just run you through those real quickly. As you know, if you've been keeping up with the channel, you'll know that this Datsun was previously on hydraulics and now it's got a rotary engine in it. So we've had to make engine mounts for it, make a custom tunnel. As you can see, I've done this panel here and the panel on top. I don't think I've filmed those, but I did film these panels at the back. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels done. So there's another 5 panels to go, but the other thing I've done is put a pedal box mount in there. Now the pedal box mount was a bit tricky, and if you can imagine, it wasn't that easy to film as well because it's underneath the dashboard. So yeah, I've got a pedal box mount in there now. There's a few other things I've done, like finish the rear suspension, put some shims in, welded the holes in the bulkhead, loads of stuff like that. So what I have been waiting for this car has just arrived, and it goes right here somewhere. So if you remember back, this car has obviously got a massive tunnel now. The gearbox is in the adequate position for a stock seating position. Now, because the rotary engine has a hydraulic clutch and this car was a cable clutch, we needed to, convert the car to cable clutch. So we then put the pedal box in as an afterthought, and as we did that, we then had no room for our legs and was really close to the pedals and basically need to move the seat backwards. Now, when they move the seat backwards, you're going to be sat about here, and then the steering wheel is going to need a spacer, and then at that point we'd already made the engine mounts, and yeah, the shifter was way too far away. So putting the pedal box in as an afterthought wasn't too fun. So we have the solution for our problems. Now, in hindsight, we could have moved the engine and gearbox a lot further back, but it's too late now and we've done all the work. So what we need is one of these. Now, this is a shifter extension, so you might be able to figure this out, but this little shifter is a kit. It's made by AG Fab, and this basically bolts down to the top of the tunnel. That goes on there, and then these little link arms sort of go on there, and then that goes on top of the original shifter, and you basically move the shifter from this point to further back to this point. So now we can sit further back in the car, we can still reach the shifter, we can now reach our pedals, and we just need to put a steering wheel spacer on. So we need to mount this to the top of the tunnel today. So this is gonna go somewhere around here, and then that shifter is gonna connect to it. So the original shifter came dead straight up from here. We're gonna move it back to here, and I'm hoping it fits perfectly in that position because it would fit nicely into our dimple die. And if it doesn't fit there, I'm gonna be gutted because I'll have to put it a little bit closer. I don't want to do that, but obviously this is 1mm sheet. Now, I don't want to put that in, just bolt it on there and then use the shifter, because over time, if you're using this, there's going to be a lot of force on the bottom base plate, and I imagine that this will fatigue crack over a lot of shifting. So what I need to do is get some 5mm plate, make a big reinforcement plate from underneath, weld it underneath, drill through, and then we can bolt it in, and that will allow us to then finish the tunnel, because obviously this side is still all open, and I've left it open because I was waiting for that shifter and I want to get a plate underneath and weld it all up, and then I can then close this panel up. That's the only reason I haven't covered it, because down there and there is all templates for the sides. So once that shifter's in, we can then start making this panel, this panel, this panel, and this panel if we've got enough metal. Which this car here has taken a lot of metal, so I'm not quite sure if I have enough. As you know, this car is on the ramp getting lots and lots of welding done. I'll just show you now. It's had this whole rear valance here, it's had the spare wheel deleted, this whole pocket has been done. I've had to do this bit here, I've had to make this bit underneath here. Just had another little panel in there. It's had the chassis fixed just here. This area here has started to be done. We've got a new floor pan here, inner sill, that bit, that bit, that bit, that bit. There's pieces upside the inside of the car as well. It's relentless and has taken a lot of metal. So for now, I'm gonna start doing the Datsun because rust repair is boring. So let's make some plates. Right, okay, here is our shifter extension. As you can see there, there is some cable ties holding it onto the shifter there, and that is because that little piece on the end is an M10 and our shifter is an M12, so it's not the same. However, the fitment will be the same because obviously we'll drill that out so it will fit, and then these things here are adjustable, so we can like shorten and lengthen the throw as such. So when that's on top, as it should be, we will then shorten the length for the rods and it will still sit in the same position. So I've adjusted these longer to account for that. So yeah, it is all mounted up. That's where it's going to be sat. Obviously, I'm going to take the bracket off there. I'm going to draw around it now before I take it off because I'm happy with the positioning. Undo it off this little bolt here, drill through here, and then what I'm going to do is put a base plate underneath, under there, weld it in, and then we can nut and bolt it, and that will be our finishing position. And then I can figure out what to do with the shifter area, because I'm still confused on how to go about it until more things are in place. But the idea for the day is to get more of this tunnel finished and the shifter area at least finished as well. So let's do that. Look at this scissor repair that Zach did for me. Impressive. Mint. I'm actually using this on my folder as a nice stand. That's like pivoting on there like that, so there's lots of play in there, but I imagine when it's all together, that does that. Our little plate is under there like that. So now we need to make this bit on here and figure out what we're going to do to seal off the cabin from the gearbox area. Now I've bought a Mark 1 MX5 thing, what's it called, shift boot, to go on here, and I think I'm going to incorporate it into the build and make a little pedal stall just on this area here. It's going to be awkward to do, but I think I've figured it out. So we have this MX5 shifter bezel. Now obviously disconnected that. I want this to sit on there like that. Now the reason I want it to sit there on there like that is because I want to seal the shifter from the elements, and this is basically the right size, give or take 1 mil. Just knock it off this little edge here, and that'd be great. But if we was to put the panel along there, then put this on top, it would look a little ugly. As you can see, it doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the shifter bezel, and you'd have to have a really big hole on like this metal sheet to fit around this edge here, and it just wouldn't really work. So what I'm thinking is, if I make the flat sheet all the way along, put this on here, right, and then because we've now got this extended shifter that's going to go on here, what I'm going to do is make a little pedal stall like a little box like this over the top and then back down there, which is bolted onto the sides and across there and across there. So you can remove the box, remove this, remove the shifter if we need to, and then put it back together. I think that's the best way, because this would work, but it's not aesthetically pleasing. Basically, just putting this on top and making a cover for it so it looks like the rest of it. I think that's what I'll be best pleased with. I've tried all sorts. If you put it on underneath, you're not going to be able to get to it unless you get the car off the ground and whatnot. Basically, the idea of this is you have to be able to remove the shifter to remove the engine. So that's why I want to build it in this fashion. It might be silly the way I'm about to build it, but in my head it makes the most sense. So first step now is to make a sheet that's going to go on top, just like one of these. Get it ready, cut a hole for the shifter, and then we'll go from there on how we're going to mount this. Again, figuring this out as I go, so let's see what happens. Luckily for me, what are you doing? I've already made a template the other day, so all I have to do is cut this out. That's the panel on top of there. I had to, open up that hole because the hole was too small, and fifth has a lot of throw, so it didn't reach. So open that up, folded those edges, and now I need to make the little panel that goes above here. So let's get some cardboard and make something else. Actually, I'm going to put this on, drill that in, and then do it. Got the Clecos in now, first time I'm using these. Hold these in place, and that way I know that the pedal store is going to be in the exact same place every time. So first off, this on here, something like that. So shifter bezels on, that's all mounted in. Now I'm making a little cover that covers the boot, and it's going to be like a little 3D diamondy press shape, like 3 inches tall, to cover the boot. So I'm drawing it out on here, ruining my brain, and I'll join you in a sec when I've drawn it out on some metal, but I think I've got the right idea because there's lots of angles to figure out. Yeah, we'll see. First go, way too tall, but you get what I'm putting down. Just need to do the same again, but this not be 3 inches and do 2 instead. Fuck. Damn it. Second time lucky. I'm thinking of making a little window like that in the top of it, and then bead roll this panel, that panel, that panel, and that panel, and then we'll have a normal like cloth boot to hide that. I don't know yet, but this is what I'm going for, which is took a lot of figuring out because my brain can't compute today. We've also got a lot of work going on. Laurel's getting done, compressors going off, multitasking in the workshop today, but I'm going to cut this out of metal now. Cardboard to metal. Got a bunch of dimple dies, not dimple dies, bead rolls to do, so let's hopefully not ruin this piece of metal because I don't want to do it twice. here's the little box that we're going to be covering the shifter with. That's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you see that there is hitting the little plate. But if I go this way, there's room on that side, so I need to go and move this shifter over in the long run, and then we can get 5th. But in the grand scheme of things, we've got something that fits, that tapers off that way, tapers off that way. It looks cool once that is on there like that. That's also going to look really cool. Another reason why I want to move that side over, because that is neutral there. It's like leaning to the driver, but if you put it first, that's kind of where it wants to sit, doesn't it? So I can open this up a little bit, both sides still. We move it over and have a first, second, third over here, then it's central. And then when it's in neutral, it doesn't look like it's leaning over like that, and it will be more straight. See? It's over to the left of it, so yeah, we'll do that. But to finish the sides off of here, I have to finish this top plate. So I could basically have this bolted into the box frame. So this bit needs to be welded on, then this can be bolted on, the shift boot, and then this can be bolted on, and then I can do the sides, and it's all square, and it's not gonna move. So yeah, let's finish this one and get it welded in. Let's get this welded in then, shall we? And it's really late at night, and we've got to this stage here. So, as you can see, it's sort of bolted down. The top panel's welded in, and this is sort of what we're going to be dealing with. So, from here, I can make the sides of this panel, and I'm going to, you know, modify this so it doesn't hit the side, and, you know, the shifter's in the middle. And then I'll run like a black edging around this bit, and then the boot can sit in there, and it's all removable, and you can still remove the shifter. So yeah, it's not really been a decent video because, as you probably tell, I'm not here on my own. I've had Zach in doing some welding for me on this. He's done a lot of welding, finishing off the arch here, really awkward shape. He's done all inside the door and stuff like that. This car is so rotten, I've had to call him like back up to get it done. So he's been grinding all day, compressor's been going all day, I've been doing this all day. This thing has been creasing my brain up because there's so many different angles and trying to make it look good and trying to figure it out as I go along, and it's just taking forever. But I'm happy with the result. Trying to imagine it and then put it into real metal was a bit tricky. I've never done anything like this, so I'm trying to make it aesthetically pleasing. I mean, it's not entirely perfect for my liking, mainly because the dies of my bead roller are not up to scratch. So it's not perfect, but I think it looks good. What do you reckon? That will look fairly decent. Obviously, when I put the sides on, I'll bead roll the sides and weld along that seam, and you won't be able to see any of the welds, and it will look seamless. I'm happy with it. And obviously that bead roll on there, just nice little touch. Obviously you're not going to see any of it, but you can see it underneath. So it's the thought that counts. And it's actually like 8:30, so I'm going to go home, get showered, get changed, edit this video, put it back up, and back in the workshop early tomorrow morning, because there's still plenty of stuff to be done. Annoyingly, but it's what it is. I did want to get that finished today, but obviously time permits. I've not really done much today, but it's taken a lot of time. That's the whole story of this entire car. It just takes forever. I think it's going to be worth it. It looks cool. Comment down below what you'd have done better. Halfway through this, I had an idea that, well, Zach had the idea, why don't you just put a CV boot on top and, you know, curl it in and have one boot. But the problem is that shifter has such a large throw on it, and getting a quick shifter for an FB gearbox is like non-existent. So we're dealing with really old stuff that throwing it is massive. So I've got to try and make it look good and seal and work all at the same time. It's just weird, but I'm getting there. We're getting there. Hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. I don't know what I'm going to do about this video because not many people watch the video when I put this in the videos. But if you like fabrication, I guess it's kind of cool. I don't know, I'm rambling. Absolutely tired. I'm going home. Thank you very much. Giveaways happening soon. A couple more weeks. Appreciate you all. Goodbye.